And new information tonight in the death of a Clay County 11-year-old who authorities say overdosed on methadone in January. We reported last month Rylan Wise's death was ruled a suicide by the medical examiner's office.
And today the Clay County Sheriff's Office released the full investigative report. On your side's Haley Harrison dug through the documents and found out where investigators believe the young boy got the pills that killed him.
The full investigative report says the medical examiner's office ruled 11-year-old Rylan Wise's death a suicide due to the amount of methadone in his system and the history of suicide threats and depression. According to the report, one of Rylan's family members told investigators he had not been the same since his parents split up. On the night of January 10th, Rylan got into an argument with his father, Rylan Wise, at his house. According to Wise's girlfriend, she told the Clay County Sheriff's Office she then saw Larry physically push Rylan into his room where he was supposed to stay as punishment for failing grades. The next day, the report says Wise's girlfriend and Rylan's younger sister checked on him a few times, but by her account, he had no movement or response the entire day. Wise and his girlfriend told investigators they thought Rylan was playing possum. The ME estimates Rylan's time of death to have been 12 to 24 hours before his father called 911 after finding Rylan unresponsive on the morning of January 12th. It's unclear how Rylan ended up with the methadone, a pharmaceutical drug to treat opioid addiction. However, the report says that Rylan could have taken them from his father's room or vehicle because the investigation revealed Wise was in possession of methadone pills. Investigators say they also found several items of drug paraphernalia in Wise in his girlfriend's bedroom the day of his death. According to the report, there were no signs of trauma or evidence that anyone gave Rylan the pills. There was also no neglect in this case, investigators say, because Rylan was already dead during the period he was being checked on. Therefore, there have been no criminal charges filed in this case. I'm Haley Harrison, First Coast News, on your side.
Now, the father's attorney asked to be relieved of his responsibility in the parental petition case regarding custody of Rylan's siblings. The parents are scheduled to be in court again in 2 weeks.